Hi friends, finally we are meeting and first of all I want to show you my cardigan that I finished. It's very hot still here, though it's nearly September. One day left to September. It's Saturday now and I have to take it off. Basic raglan sweater, making more increases on the body, less increases on the raglan lines on the sleeves, but they're still roomy and enough space. Just lots of positive ease, but not too baggy. Very nice. Used a lot of scrap yarn leftovers, mohair leftovers, yarn leftovers. Very happy. The only thing I had to buy was this blue color because I didn't have anything blue. I'm not a blue person, though blue looks really good on me. I don't know why I never bought it, but taking it off. It's really difficult to start filming once you stop. You just plan in your head and tell yourself, okay, tomorrow I will film a little bit and blah, 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 and it never happens. I don't know why. If you pause, so it's kind of forever. I found some bits, some video clips from before, and I will include them here now, and at the end of the video I will show you what I have on my needles, what I finished, and so on. See you at the end of the video. Hi. In this little episode, I want to show you what I am working on and a little bit about my plans. So first, I am working on the socks that I brought from the trip to Portugal, and I have done quite a lot. So I've knitted half of the sock. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting out the bits that have red and that have charcoal gray because I want to make them look like tropical sea color. But however, I'm not sure if I have enough of those green and blue. So I think the toes, closer to the toes, it will be black, like charcoal gray. To be honest, I lost a bit the motivation to work on them, but I have discipline. So every day I will work a little bit, and in 3-4 days they will be finished. The object that I finished, that I was working on these days and now I finished, are these huge size 45 socks. These are for my husband's friend. He loves thick socks and I hope he will like those. So I was using Rauma Vandra yarn. This is very special 100% wool yarn made for socks. It's really, really very strong. It's difficult to rip. And you have to felt them at first. And then you wash them normally using wool cycle or hand wash. But at first, it's recommended to felt them a bit in the washing machine. But what I do, I take a bar of soap and I just rub well using quite hot water, so I'm afraid to foul them completely. So this is done. And I still want to work with this rustic yarn. I think I was never a big fan of rustic yarns, but I love knitting socks with it because it reminds me of my childhood when you could find only this rustic yarn in my country. And I had winter leggings in this yarn. All the socks I had all my childhood was using this yarn. It could be a bit like more rustic or less rustic, but it was never soft and like merino. We didn't have merino sheep, and it was very problematic to get other types of yarn. So I thought I can knit some Christmas gifts, and I can start working now. So I thought I would knit socks for my friends and their husbands, like family look. And so for 2 friends, and 1 pair for my friend's husband, who is a hunter. So I think he will appreciate these socks. And I started knitting yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. So I used this military green that I bought because she loves all shades of green. Both friends love green. So I will use that for them and black color for their husbands. So she is size 36, 37. So these are very short socks. I hope it's okay, the length, because I can't try them on because it's a secret. It's a secret gift. So what I have to do here, I knitted all the body of the sock, and now I have to do the toes. So these are actually my 2 works in progress, 2 pairs of socks. Then I took the sweater I'm knitting for my friend with a satin sleeve. So I was trying it on, and now I have like foundation. I tried it on. I had a chance to meet her and try this on, and it sits perfectly on her. I was so happy I don't have to reknit it. There is 1 stitch over there that doesn't look very nice, but I tried to pinch it from the other side, and it looks okay then. So I will try to sew it with the mohair, and I will try to fix it. I don't want to restart because everything, the neckline, like everything is so nice. So now I think, I don't remember where I am, but I think it's time to separate for the sleeves. Maybe I will put it on to try on myself to see where I am. I don't remember if I was taking any notes. So today I will have to understand where I'm at. Now let's talk about Christmas and Christmas gifts. When it comes to my Christmas gifts, I never knit them. If I knit something as a gift, I just give it when I knit it without thinking it is a Christmas gift or not. But like purposefully, I never knit for Christmas. But now I have decided to knit some gifts because I have 2 people who wanted my knitted sweaters. So it made me very, very happy. So for Christmas gifts, I will be knitting 2 sweaters and plus the socks I showed you. So one is from Fiala Lopi yarn. Remember I showed you in the last video. My husband was very happy to see the colors. And here we came into a little conflict because we can't agree on what colors to use in this sweater. Though I bought many different colors, I wasn't sure which colors to use. If I have some leftovers or the colors I didn't use, I could use it in Colorworks and Lopi, because this is Lopi yarn, in Lopa Paces, and so on. We looked on the website what other colors they carry, and I found beautiful light gray because I think it would be very nice to brighten this sweater because all the yarns are muted and foggy because it has this dark gray in them. So we ordered this. My husband saw like dark mustardy color and some turquoise. I wasn't very fond of them, but he wanted, so I ordered a ball of each color. And I think that 5 colors, including this, so these 4 and light gray, would be a perfect combination. He wants to have every color. And because he's my client, I will agree with him. So maybe I'll knit a sweater. I'm sure I will have lots of leftovers. So maybe I'll knit a sweater for myself using these colors. So they are so saturated, so beautiful. So this is one sweater I'm going to knit. I would love to start today. Okay. But I'm waiting for the yarn to come. I'm going to knit most probably saddle shoulder with a satin sleeve because he doesn't want oversized. He wants it to be like with little positive ease. So I think saddle shoulder would look very nice. You can just set in the sleeves while you are knitting the stripes. And when the stripe goes like on the sleeve here and goes onto another sleeve, I think it emphasizes the broad shoulders, and he has very broad shoulders, so I think it would look very nice and will give him this very nice, like emphasize his nice masculine like body build. And another person who wants my sweater is my son. He never asked me to knit anything but some pairs of woolen socks. He is addicted to fishing and he fishes only salmon and trout. I showed him, I saw the sweater by Caitlin Hunter, King Salmon, and I liked the fish. It's very nicely knitted, it's very nicely charted, and it looks exactly like salmon. The head is absolutely the right proportions and the right look. What I don't like in this pattern is how the body sits, how the sweater sits. I think the yoke is too deep and the sleeves go way too much into the body. It's difficult to lift your arm because all the sweater goes up together. And so this was one thing, but it's possible to fix and I know how. But another thing that I did not like about this sweater is the round yoke. I find that this round yoke does not emphasize the broad shoulders of a man. And I think it's very important if you knit for the man to make his body shape complementary. Because the fish is long and it goes like this, and it kind of minimizes, makes the shoulders look saggy and more round. That is absolutely nice and beautiful for the woman shape. That's my understanding. I might be wrong. So I decided that, oh, he loved that sweater. He loved. So I decided to take only one fish and put it, instead of being vertical, I would put it horizontally as if it's swimming. He agreed with me, and when I explained why I want, because he liked it the way it is, the original design. But I explained my understanding and he agreed with that. He understood my point. But he follows one fisherman who wears old school sweater I think it's store-bought because it has like the label here, the tag, the label. So he sent me the links to Instagram. I will put some photos here. He wanted to have those lines, and he said, I want those black lines here. I said, it's regular lines. So he wants exactly like this, but with a fish. And I thought like it's technically possible to make. I'm not sure if this suddenly stopping and then the lines continuing down will be very nice and cohesive. So maybe I could knit two sweaters, one with the salmon and one this and one like with the lines. So now let's talk about the pattern. So I zoomed in to see what kind of pattern it is, and I could see that dark lines have like knitted stitch, like the slip knitted stitch, and there are pearls of the lighter color in between. So here I tried the different versions you can see. And finally, I made it look very similar. It is slipped stitch here. The original picture doesn't have this knitted stitch. I will try to experiment. I can make it purled as well, but I think if I make it purled, it would look like it will not have the same effect. Well, it's not exactly the same because that one is knitted like machine knitted. Knitting a raglan sweater for a man is very easy because you simply need to make traditional increases every other round because the sleeve has to be wider, and that's the simpler knit. This is the mosaic knitting, so it's not color work. You knit 2 rounds in one color and then 2 rounds in another color. I found this pattern on the internet, but I changed it a little bit, modified, so I have those slipped stitches in the dark color. What else? And now let's talk about my sins. When I went to look for the yarn for this sweater, I saw a sale, a 50% sale. They were taking away some colors from brushed alpaca or brushed alpaca silk from Sanna's Garn. There were some sale on some new brand. I've never met it before. It was like also like brushed alpaca with little speckles, but it looked already felted, and this is the type of yarn I don't like. And they were selling bright summer colors of Koos yarn by Sanna's Garden. And there was one color that I really liked, so I bought it. I bought sweater quantity, and now I'm going to show you. Oh, this is the brown. Let me take 2 balls. So this is Sanna's Garden yarn called Poppy. It's the same as Koos. I think, I don't know why it's called Poppy, to be honest. So it is blown yarn, 50% superfine alpaca, 35 the tube cotton, and 15 merino wool, and it has 110 meters. From my previous experience, I can say that this yarn doesn't wear well if you knit it alone by itself. But if you add either a strand of mohair or some other thin yarn, it transforms. It wears very nice. It has the shape. It doesn't pill. It took me to knit 2 sweaters, I think 2, to understand what's wrong with it. It can't go alone. And I saw that tin Peer Gynt, like Peer Gynt in general, has the same color. So I think I will buy, it's really thin, so I think I will buy 4 or 5 balls, just as we call it in Norway, følgetrad, like the companion yarn. So they go together. And I think I have more here, but I'm not sure. I have to add three strands because it will maybe too chunky. So much about my current situation. Now I'm going to repot 6 orchids, and it takes a bit of time because I soak them, I prepare them, I soak them in fungicides, so they don't get any diseases, and it's easier to acclimate and get adjusted to the new media like bark chips, and because they experience stress and they're quite sensitive to repotting. So it will take me a bit of time, but so I'm going to knit a bit, to repot, knit, repot, and this will be my late morning agenda. Okay, I say see you later. So this is how much I've done. Now I'm trying to see if I put it on my husband's sweater, and I'm trying to see whether I need to knit some more. It's kind of okay. But my son, I think, is bigger, maybe a little bit. So I might need to knit maybe 3 centimeters more of the yoke. I'm not sure if I did the right thing. I really wanted to start with the neckline and not to attach it, to knit it later. So I knitted the neckline, did this faux seam that you can't see here, and then started raglan lines. I did not do the short rows because I couldn't incorporate them nicely into the pattern. And though you see it's here, like the neckline sits well, you can see that I just simply pulled it down. When I finish making the depth of the yoke, I will knit only the back, so maybe like this, so it evens out. And I hope it will be okay. I hope the neckline, the front, will go down enough to not to touch it will be deep enough. I could have done it differently. Maybe I should have cast for the sleeve, back and the sleeve, and knit back and forth, making the raglan and shaping the neckline. I think that would have been smarter. Maybe I should unravel and do that. It's lots of work done, but it's still not too late to unravel, you know. Good morning. It's Friday morning. It will be my day off this year. And I want to show you what I'm working on. you can see this huge beast. So this is my hand. It's enormous. I reknitted it because I did the neckline differently. Before, I just casted the stitches, jointed the round, and started knitting raglan, making increases every other round. And then I was planning to make the like lifting of the yoke at the end of the raglan, just knitting on the back a bit. And in this way, it will pull down and the neckline will be just would sit properly. However, then I thought maybe it will not be enough and the neckline may go too close to the neck and just won't be very comfortable. So then I casted on stitches only for the sleeves back, another sleeve, and just one stitch for the front. And I was knitting straight a certain amount. I'm not using any pattern. I'm just knitting, doing calculations myself. And so you can see that I knitted a bit straight. Then I started increasing like 2 times, I think, by 1 stitch, then 4 stitches, 5 stitches, and I think there was 12 stitches. And then I started knitting in the round. Now I think, well, now it's time to separate for the sleeves. So I bound off the stitches for one sleeve. Now I have to do the same here. I tried it on my husband this morning. It looks okay. The only thing that worries me a bit is the width of the sleeves. Though I started with like very few stitches for the sleeve, but it still looks a bit wide. Maybe it looks wide for me because, well, I've never knitted such a big garment. Well, I knitted, but it was many years ago for my husband. My son is tall and like high and has wide shoulders, so I think it may be okay. I wanted to make fewer increases on the sleeve, but I can't do because the pattern, those lines go symmetrically and then it would break the pattern and would not look nice. So I kept doing like increases every other round. So this is one thing I'm working on. Another thing is the socks. The socks that I lost motivation knitting on. I don't know why. I love knitting socks. I could knit them every day. So, but I hope I will finish today. So what I have to do is I have to knit one colored stripe for this sock and nothing on this sock, and then start making decreases for the toes, and they will be 143 size. I'm making them not 45 because I cast on fewer stitches, so they are narrower. Thus the size has to be a bit smaller. And another thing I'm knitting is a sweater for my friend. This is the sweater with the satin sleeve. So I separated the sleeves and I'm now knitting on the body. I tried it on today, though it's my day off. I had to go to work because I forgot my keys. And it looks fine. It looks perfect. I just have to knit the body. Today I'm going to work on these 3 projects, and I'm sure I'll finish the socks because I want to finish them, and I will knit on both sweaters. So much information for today. We'll update you most probably in the evening. Bye. what I have on my needles. So I was knitting a lot on my son's sweater, and I finished the body and started on the sleeves. I'm not sure if the body is the right length. I think I have to knit more on it, but I need my husband or my son to come and try it on. I don't have any of them here and won't have for a couple of weeks. It kind of looks okay. Let me go back a little bit. So if I put on me, it ends here. So it's quite long. The pattern looks like that. Now I'm knitting on the sleeves. This is a slow process because every round has slipped stitches. It doesn't grow so quickly. But it's a fun knit. I really enjoyed it. I'm using Peer Gynt in this gray, charcoal gray, and dirty gray colors. Personally, I would take light gray, so it's like has more clean look. But my son insisted on having this. A lot of work done. Now let's talk about the socks. I have knitted quite a lot because I got an order from my colleague who orders 2 or 3 pairs of socks for him and his family every year before Christmas. But when he saw this rough yarn Rauma Vandre that I'm knitting socks now with, he asked me if I could knit him using this yarn as well, and I couldn't say no. So I was knitting a lot. But let's start from the beginning. So these are the socks I lost motivation on knitting, but slowly I finished them. I love knitting big socks. And then I started knitting for my colleague. He needs socks size 45 for himself. So I used beige and black. By the way, thank you for subscribing. The numbers are slowly growing and we have to reach 500. And this pattern will be released for free on my channel and you can knit these socks as well. I will explain how to knit the heel, how to knit the pattern, and so on. Then he needed size, okay, let's continue with the socks. Then he needed size 41 for his daughter. And I had this gray, and I took white. I think it looks nice for the girl. They are not washed and blocked, they are just off the needles. And now I'm knitting on socks for his mother. And I'm not sure about the size 38, 39, something like this. And I have to contact him to write him a message about the size, asking about the size. And here I'm using this moss or military green with beige. And I've knitted the length, I think. Maybe not. Or maybe yes. I think it's what I need for that size, and I have to start making decreases and start forming the toes. So very little work left. Okay, the light blue sweater I was knitting for my friend is finished, and I already gave it to her and I forgot to film it. So that's a shame, I'm very sorry. But you saw the top where the most interesting details are. And then I just knitted simply down straight, and the sleeves one by one ribbing, tubular bind off, everything as usual. So then I went into my yarn closet to put some yarns back, some leftovers, and I had an idea. I have so many balls of mohair, like a ball or nearly a ball, and left, and I have nothing to do with them, and it's quite a big amount of mohair yarn. So I thought, what if I find leftover yarn to pair it with, so I could knit Sophie shawls for gifts or for selling. And I found quite a lot of combinations for this project, and now I will show you what I've done. I'm knitting them quite long and big, so they could be perfect for winter. They are squishy and thick. For this, I used Drops Daisy. I had 3 balls left, so I used 2. And I had a ball of mohair that perfectly blends in. Then I found some red yarn. And for this red yarn, I didn't have mohair. But in the shop, I found Sanna's Garn Silk mohair, a ball of red. It has a bit of like orange undertone, so you can see that it doesn't blend so well. You can see the mohair. Yeah, but it's also the silk that doesn't take the dye so well. So I knitted the red. It is merino wool. I don't remember the name. And I have enough red merino for 1 more shawl, but I don't have enough mohair. And then I found, is it Rauma? Is it Dalagarn? Wait. So this is Rauma, and the yarn name is Inca. It's 100% superfine alpaca, and it has 175 meters. So I'm using 2 strands of this, and I had some knitting for olive mohair. I took bigger needles because you get a bit thicker fabric. So I like what I get. It's very nice. I knitted quite a lot of these Sophie scarf, Sophie shawl, Sophie scarf. I can't remember the name. Last year and 2 years ago, and I'm in love. I have this little left, but I ran out of the yarn. I have only this left, so I have to attach the new ball, and that will be done as soon as I finish filming and editing. So, and these are, this is cooler tone, and this is like warmer beige, or like wet sand. Okay, what else? Yesterday I was working in my son's room. It was really messy, and because it needs renovation, so I use it as like a room for storing all the things I don't know where to put. But I decided to tidy it a little bit. And there are baskets of yarn that I was under the bed that I was using when I was knitting mittens, and those colorful mittens. I'll try to find photos and put them there. And is it raining? Not yet. I would love to knit them this year as well. I found them like color therapy. It was so much fun. And there is a lot of yarn that is Peer Gynt or some other type, but like 100% wool, a bit rustic, 100 meters per 50-gram ball. And there I found the yarn that I bought not so long ago. Peer Gynt, this deep, like this, green color. It's color number 7272. And I have 7 balls. So I thought it may not be enough for a sweater. So I decided to use the color work. And I found the color work very on Pinterest available. The pattern is there. It looks very similar to Petite Knit Celeste sweater. So I thought, that may work as well. But so today while I was drinking, having my morning lazy Saturday morning coffee and watching a YouTube video, I knitted the neckline. I casted on 96 stitches on needles number 3. Peer Gynt is recommended for needles number 4, but for the color work I will use 4.5, and for the body I will use 4. For the color work colors, I'm still not sure. It's so dark, I don't know what to do. So I have lighter gray, darker gray. I don't know which one to choose. I have this blue. I think it's also Peer Gynt. And I have another blue I will show you in a second. I have charcoal gray. I have fuchsia pink. I have Malabrigo mustardy yellow. That is very beautiful. I have only this much left, but I guess that's enough for the color work. And I came across this ball. This is also Malabrigo yarn, merino. It's spun a little bit, but not too much. It looks like this. And I'm thinking maybe it would be more vibrant than this blue because it's not so solid and has like some variation in the shade. But what I'm afraid that it may bleed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to knit a little piece and wash it with the soap to see if the color bleeds or not. If not, so I will use this one. And I think it will look really nice. And I have one more work in progress that I keep at work. Sorry, my washing machine. I have a project that I keep at work. I started doing the same thing. I don't know how to call it. Project. Community building project, or you can give it the name. So I have the names of all my colleagues put in a glass, and then I draw one. I asked someone to draw one person, and I knit a pair of socks for that person while we're having lunch breaks. So usually people eat and chat, so I eat and knit. I've knitted this much. And here I have to start the heel. I brought it home to show you and to knit a little bit so it goes faster. Just a tiny bit. I'll finish the heels, do the decreases, and when it's like for the foot, I'll take it back to work. I'll do it on Monday. I'm using Drops Fiesta. Both colors are from Drops Fiesta. And that is all. I think I was very productive, though I didn't have a mental capacity to film. The beginning of the year was really like draining, and you just come home and you are dead, but you still have the garden. I have the garden, I have my orchid garden here. I have family, food. So all I wanted to do when I had some free time, I just wanted to knit. I hope you understand me. So much for today. Do I have acquisitions? Not really. No, I don't. Proud of myself. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave me a like, a comment, both. And I hope I will not disappear for so long. Thanks for watching and see you next time.